WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, you know, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from.
With a confident demeanor, Angel re-announced on her podcast that she was creating a powerhouse in Chicago. When we fast forward to the present, the situation is completely different. Even though free agency is in full flow, Chicago's roster is still completely vacant. After weighing their alternatives, the best free agents decided to give up on the Sky.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come.
Not a single all-star has been persuaded to take to the Skies. Chicago has been left searching for answers while other teams have piled up with elite talent. After all the recruiting she accomplished at Unrivaled, free agency was meant to be Reese's opportunity to contribute to the construction of a championship-caliber team. Rather, it's becoming an unpleasant reality check. Is this the clearest indication that players in the league simply don't want to be a part of what Ree is attempting to establish in Chicago? Let's examine this free agency catastrophe in more detail.
The whole city is obsessed with you.
I know. I love it
all
here.
the time.
I feel like Baltimore here. I love it here.
Kind of. A little bit. A little DMV action. But you know, Chicago is a number 3 market in the country.
Really?
It's New York, LA, and then Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, y'all have everything. I'm not gonna lie, y'all have everything here. Like, it's nothing here that I'm like, oh, I gotta go to a different city for it. Like, everything is here.
Angel Reese declared with assurance that she will create a fantastic squad in Chicago. However, the only thing the Sky have created since the arrival of free agency is a roster full of unknowns. Imagine this. Reese was making calls, sending messages, and going through her contacts. However, all she sees when she checks her phone are courteous rejections and unread messages.
Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso, too, have brought relevance to this team that they've desperately needed in a time when, again, if not for them, they'd be completely irrelevant because of the product that they're putting on the floor.
And also make Chicago an attractive spot when you have Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso right there, two bigs that really shine in their rookie.
You would think that at least one of the numerous elite free agents available would be going to Chicago, wouldn't you? Incorrect. There has been an overwhelming quiet and thrilling tweets, no major acquisitions, and no players of championship caliber leaving for the Windy City. Reese was the only one that left, unsure of what went wrong.
So, lads, this is not great news, you know, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, look, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is they don't own their pick. So if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offense.
Let's examine the available names. Jewel Lloyd, Brittany Gurrier, Alyssa Thomas, Dana Bonner, Natasha Howard, Seti Sabali, Kelsey Mitchell, and Kelsey Plum. These athletes have the power to instantly transform a team. And how many of them gave Chicago a serious thought? Not a single one, though perhaps there was yet hope. Perhaps Ree was planning something that no one anticipated. However, it's indisputable that the majority of the great names have found new residences. Top talent was not drawn to Chicago. Reese's ambitious hiring strategy, it was more than a failure, it was a total catastrophe.
So, not a good day for the Chicago Sky. Not a good day at all, because we have heard news from the journalist who reports on the WNBA, and because she is not a homer like a lot of the other people, like normally journalists are complete homers for one team. One of the actual credible journalists reported on something. Sky fans aren't happy. They all want their...
To exacerbate the situation, Ree also received no favors from the Sky front office. Kennedy Carter, their top scorer, was not even extended a qualifying offer. It was an obvious message. Chicago has no intention of retaining its finest players, much less bringing in new ones. Additionally, such trade rumors didn't spread quickly. It's almost as if free agents couldn't flee quickly enough when Ree attempted to convince them of the super squad concept.
Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. she's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
What does this mean for Angel Reese, the so-called superstar who is meant to introduce top talent to Chicago? Instead, she may be in charge of a group of rookies and role players. This is not the formidable force she had envisioned. It's a sobering reminder. What went wrong, then? Why did all of the top free agents conclude it wasn't worth their time after seeing Chicago? Let's dissect everything.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
The real top free agents were making moves that left the skies in the dust, while Angel Reese was promoting Chicago as the new WNBA superpower. Imagine this. Superstars were landing with teams that had everything Chicago lacked due to a league-wide signing frenzy. Leadership, consistency, and a genuine opportunity to succeed. Let's examine the precise locations where the stars choose to shine.
Seattle Storm are sending Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces in a blockbuster three-team trade that moves Kelsey Plum to the LA Sparks. That's according to ESPN. As part of the deal, Seattle receives the second pick in this year's WNBA draft from LA in exchange for the Storm's number 9 pick, while the Aces also receive the 13th pick, a second-round selection from the Sparks.
Kelsey Plum comes first. I take it you remember her? The gunman who was instrumental in Las Vegas's consecutive victories. She is on her way to Los Angeles. Yes, it is correct. The Sparks are now a real contender. And why LA rather than Chicago? It's easy. Superior coaching, a front staff with real expertise, and a team that isn't in total disarray. I apologize, Angel, but if it hurt, Jewel Lloyd's situation must have been extremely embarrassing. As a native of Chicago, Lloyd had the ideal chance to play for her hometown. This was an obvious choice if playing with Angel Reese was so alluring. Incorrect. Lloyd quickly left for Las Vegas, where she will be collaborating with A'ja Wilson after taking one glance at the Sky situation. Yes, it is correct. Instead of dealing with whatever drama is going on in Chicago, she decided to pursue titles.
According to WNBA Insider, that Illinois native Jewel Lloyd will not be going to Chicago Sky. And obviously, they didn't keep Kennedy Carter. And it's looking like one player, obviously, that's been in Chicago across her careers because of her Illinois roots is Seattle Storm guard Jewel Lloyd.
Additionally, Brittany Gurrier, a dominant center with the ability to dunk the ball, is moving to Atlanta to join a dream squad that has just become much more dangerous. The queen of triple-doubles, Alyssa Thomas, is currently residing in Phoenix. Look for a pattern here. These athletes didn't simply stay away from Chicago. They sprinted in the direction of groups with strong leadership and direction. Teams where they could flourish rather than squandering time on controversy in the locker room.
Let's talk about the 3 big names you gotta know. Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Cloud, Brittany Griner. Let's start with Brittany Griner, joining Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard in Atlanta. Dream team. Brittany Griner was drafted to Phoenix in 2013, so it's kind of about time, and I'm so excited to see what Atlanta turns around this next season because they really need her. Phoenix is also losing Natasha Cloud and Beck Allen, along with the number 12 pick overall in this year's draft, to Connecticut. Connecticut is giving up the triple-double queen, Alyssa Thomas, and Ty.
In relation to Phoenix, Angel Reese's situation becomes much worse. She will be collaborating with Sutta Sable in addition to Thomas landing there. The mercury is immediately elevated by that hazardous combo. However, this is where the actual suffering begins. The Indiana Fever were actually constructing a championship roster while Angel Reese was preoccupied with trying and failing to recruit. The ultimate off-season makeover was just completed by the Fever. They brought in seasoned professionals such as Sydney Carlson, Sophie Cunningham, Dana Bonner, and Natasha Howard. Brianna Turner, one of Reese's teammates, was even taken from her. As if it weren't enough, Kelsey Mitchell was resigned once more. Chicago remained stagnant as Indiana transformed from a youthful, promising team to a serious contender for the championship.
The Indiana Fever are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense.
What does this all mean, then? The true stars weren't paying attention to what Angel Reese had to say. These elite free agents not only turned down Chicago, but they also actively bolstered the opposition teams. It seems as though they all recognized the red flags and chose to steer clear of the drama before it even got underway. But wait, there's one more action that could be the last blow to Angel Reese's aspirations of becoming a super team. Are you interested in learning more? After boasting about making Chicago a super squad, Angel Reese is now staring at vacant lockers and unresponsive texts. The truth is beginning to set in. Her goal of attracting elite talent is becoming a nightmare. It's beginning to feel more like a pickup team at the neighborhood YMCA than an all-star group.
Just trying to give myself some grace because I know I'm not the player that I want to be just yet, but also kind of patting myself in the back, telling myself that I'm still doing.
The dearth of great talent in the Sky's practicing facility is the elephant in the room, so let's talk about it. Did you know that, in comparison to the rest of the WNBA, Chicago's present setup is like working out in a high school gym? The Sky are trapped in a time warp, while teams like the Fever, Liberty, and Aces practice in state-of-the-art facilities. Furthermore, the eagerly awaited new facility won't be completed until 2026. That might as well be 10 years away in a league that is expanding more quickly than before.
Every woman should be able to step in and be able to go into a locker room and be able to have a safe space or go into a gym at 3 o'clock in the morning when they want to do that. So I want to be able to just...
And when you look at their record, things just become worse. Do you recall a time when the Sky were genuinely contenders for the postseason? They finished the previous season with 13 wins and 27 losses, their worst record since 2020, collapsing harder than a cheap lawn chair. And this is following the addition of Angel Reese, a so-called generational rookie. As it happens, hype doesn't win games.
So it's just been great being able to see my impact on and off the court, and not just in sports, but just being able to be a cultural impact as well.
But hold on, things get even messier. The guys' chemistry in the locker room is reportedly as tumultuous as a reality TV program. Who is stirring things up? Angel. She is turning away talent more quickly than a poor Wi-Fi signal, rather than attracting free agents to Chicago. Personally attempted to recruit Gabby Williams, who responded, "Thanks, but no thanks." Even Kennedy Carter, who isn't exactly known for being polite, expressed her opinions on Reese before to her departure.
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
Speaking of dysfunction, let's discuss the front office of the Skies. It resembles a fast food restaurant's revolving door. There is no stability, people coming and going. It makes sense that free agents are leery of Chicago's instability, as noted by WNBA analyst Annie Costel, who would voluntarily join this mess. What does that mean for the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese? Not in a very nice location. The Sky can't even persuade players to answer their calls, while teams like the Fever are becoming real dynasties. It resembles watching a train disaster in slow motion. It hurts, but you can't ignore it.
And I can't help but wonder, is that what happened here? Is Angel Reese and the way she wants to play, and I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media post, but she's very me, always. Me. Well, you may have a player that has decided that she's had enough.
Angel Reese enjoys discussing how people pay attention to her. But she just received a harsh wake-up call from reality. People, the numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's biggest attraction, not Angel Reese. Let's dissect it.
Throughout the year, WNBA players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she was along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media. They wanted us to believe that the WNBA was exploding in popularity. They wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, Caitlin Clark.
Imagine this, Chicago's game night. The Sky and Angel Reese are on the court. However, the seats are as empty as a summer break study hall at a high school. Let's just assume that it would be more difficult to find a smash hit on public access television based on the TV ratings. However, as soon as Clark and the Fever get in town, there is only standing room. Hold on, the contrast is terrible. Defenders of Reese may argue. But Angel is a double-double machine. She has the ability to bounce back. Yes, she is accumulating boards, but she isn't really gathering fans. Although it's not precisely a bestseller, the Sky's attendance figures tell a narrative. There is no demand. Not for Angel, not for the heavens.
Well, now, jealous WNBA players will have the opportunity to earn that credit. Now, players like Angel Reese, they will be given the chance to test their star.
Additionally, Ree was expected to demonstrate her star power in Unrivaled, the highly anticipated 3-on-3 league. They're hardly registering a pulse, to put it mildly, according to the stats. Reese's games drew fewer than 100,000 views. Yes, you heard correctly. They didn't even require 6 figures to count. Folks, that is not a typo. The league, which was meant to be a game changer, now seems more like a side project that will be forgotten.
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest, we can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero zip, nothing.
What does this all mean for the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese? Then, there is a lot of pressure. Reese will need to support all of that chatter because there are no big-name free agents arriving to assist. Can she truly become the league spokesperson as she says she will? Or is she going to be left with an empty arena and wondering where her audience has disappeared to as she flips through TV channels?
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
This is the harsh reality. Seats aren't being filled by Reese's star power. It's like attempting to use a torch to illuminate a stadium. It doesn't work. According to WNBA analyst Annie Costil, Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso have brought relevance to this team that they've desperately needed in a time when, again, if not for them, they'd be completely irrelevant because of the product that they're putting on the floor. Translation: before Rhea arrived, the Sky was already chaotic, and her presence hasn't exactly made things any better. To turn things around, Chicago needed a true superstar. Angel Reese hasn't been that player thus far.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Angel Reese is facing the most crucial season of her career as free agency comes to an end. Do you recall the time she said loudly that she was assembling a fantastic team? That dream, however, collapsed more forcefully than one of her missed layups. There won't be any All-Stars. There are no upcoming reinforcements. She just has one choice left. Show that she is a franchise player or become obsolete. Here's the wider view, though. This is no longer solely about Angel. A significant reality check for the WNBA is highlighted by the Sky free agency catastrophe. A championship team is not built by a single player. It requires a winning culture, first-rate facilities, and astute front office choices. Chicago is currently failing on all 3 fronts. All eyes are on the Windy City as the new season draws near. Is it possible for Angel Reese to truly raise the Sky? Or was it all just meaningless chatter? Because her WNBA career might be much more disastrous than her free agency recruitment tour if she doesn't perform. Are you prepared for the train wreck that is Angel Reese? Tell us in the comments. To ensure you never miss anything, like, subscribe, and enable all notifications. We'll see you in the next one when you click the video on the screen.